All right, 2026 is right around the corner, which makes it the perfect time to hit refresh on your money strategy. So today, we are breaking down 10 things you can do differently to finally get some real momentum with your finances. So does it feel like everything is getting more expensive and your big goals are somehow getting farther away? If you're feeling that squeeze, trust me, you are not the only one. It's a really common feeling, but it absolutely does not have to be your reality. And that right there is the key. This isn't about just getting by. It's about actually taking control. With the right game plan, you can make this the year you really start moving forward. So let's dive into the first step. First things first, we have got to build a solid foundation. These next two things we're going to talk about, they're non-negotiable. They are the bedrock that everything else gets built on. Without them, the rest of the plan is just shaky. Okay, I love this slide because it completely flips the script on what a budget is. For so many of us, the word budget just feels like a restriction, right? Like a financial diet. But the truth is, a budget is freedom. It's you telling your money where to go instead of scratching your head and wondering where it all went. It's pure empowerment. And this is exactly why it's so powerful, especially right now. When you have a budget, you create margin. You can actually see where you can trim things to fight back against rising costs. And hey, if you get a raise or start a side hustle, that budget makes sure the extra cash goes toward your goals, not just, random late night purchases. It's literally like giving yourself an inflation-proof raise. A budget is fantastic for all the things you plan for. But we all know life loves to throw surprises at us. The car breaks down, a surprise medical bill pops up, and that's where the second piece of our foundation comes in, the emergency fund. This is the goal. A safety net of 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses just sitting there in a savings account. Having that buffer means an emergency is just an inconvenience, not a complete catastrophe. And let me tell you, the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're prepared for anything, it's absolutely priceless. Okay, with that foundation in place, it is time to play some offense. This section is all about taking back control from the two biggest things that drain your financial momentum: debt and impulse spending. This right here is the debt snowball. It is a brilliant method that's way more about motivation than it is about math. You list all your debts, smallest to largest, and you ignore the interest rates for a second. Pay the minimums on everything, but you throw every extra penny you have at that smallest debt. Once it's gone, poof, you take that payment and you roll it on to the next one. Each win builds this incredible momentum, and you start to feel totally unstoppable. Now let's talk about that other big drain. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? That one-click buy feels kind of like magic. But that genie is quietly draining your bank account and knocking your goals off track, one click at a time. So how do you keep that genie in check? Well, you make it just a little bit harder to spend. This isn't about never shopping online again. It's about being intentional. Little things like deleting the apps from your phone, giving yourself a 24-hour cooldown period before buying something, or even clearing your cookies to stop those tempting ads, they put you back in the driver's seat. All right, we've built the foundation, we've plugged the leaks. Now we get to do the really exciting stuff, looking forward. This whole section is about building for the long term, whether that's retirement or maybe even buying a home someday. I absolutely love this analogy because it is so true. Long-term investing is not some smooth, gentle ride to the top. Nope, there are going to be these thrilling climbs and some serious stomach-in-your-throat drops. The market will go up, and it will go down. That is just the nature of the ride. And this right here is the single most important rule of the ride. What happens when someone panics and jumps off a roller coaster? Yeah, it does not end well. The key to winning with investing is to stay in your seat. You have to ride out the ups and the downs. Just keep investing consistently, and over the long haul, you'll come out way ahead. And speaking of those big goals, let's talk about buying a house. This is basically your readiness checklist. Are you completely debt-free with that emergency fund full? Got a solid down payment saved up? Will the mortgage payment fit comfortably in your budget? If you can go down this list and check these boxes, you can move forward knowing you're in a really strong position. Okay, on to our final section. And honestly, this might be the most important part of the whole thing. See, you can have the best plan, the best spreadsheets in the world, but it's your mindset, what you believe about money, that's the fuel that actually makes the plan work. Now, if you're married, this is so critical. It can't be my income and your bills. It has to be our money and our goals. When you get on the same page and operate like a team, you just eliminate so much stress. And frankly, you get to your goals so much faster together. And this question is for everybody, married or single.
Why are you even doing this? What's the real motivation for getting your money in order? Is it so you can finally sleep through the night without financial stress? Is it to travel the world? To change your family tree forever? You have got to know your why, because that's what's going to pull you through when things get tough.
And here's a really powerful big picture why to think about. What if the ultimate goal of all this budgeting and saving wasn't just about you? What if it was about building enough wealth that you could be outrageously generous and make a huge impact on the people and causes you care about? Now that is a motivator. So when it all comes down to it, what's the one thing that people who succeed with money all have in common? It's not how much they make or where they came from. It's their belief. They truly, deeply believe that they can do it. So I want you to hear this right now. If you're feeling discouraged, you are not stuck. The pressure out there is real, I get it, but it is not permanent. You can and you will get through this. You will survive, and with a plan like this, you will absolutely thrive. We have covered a lot of ground, from budgeting all the way to believing in yourself. But it all starts with just one decision, one action. So my question for you is, what is the very first step you are going to take to make 2026 your year? Your future self is waiting to find out.